We welcomed spring last month in Riviera, Texas on Baffin Bay. We got to enjoy spring coming in with all the birds singing and flowers blooming, and it was just absolutely beautiful. A lot of times people ask us, how are Loki and Thor doing with the traveling? What do you think? How are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing good. Loki doesn't mind traveling. He likes going to the different spots. And every time we go to a new campground, he gets to explore and sniff around. And specifically the one that we're at right now, he likes to be out on the beach. It's really cool. Thor, he last time we traveled, he didn't make any noise. He was just in the back seat. We didn't even know he was there. So he's actually getting pretty used to traveling. And he's got his little spot in the closet, and that's his day. He's pretty inactive for that matter.
Loki's favorite thing to do is to go to the dog park and play with dogs or chase a ball, depending on what's available. And Thor's favorite thing to do as soon as we arrive is he gets a dirt bath. I think he likes the smells of the new place. Really funny, but he loves it. We got to see a ton of wildlife while we were in Baffin Bay.
Yeah, I didn't know South Texas is actually known as like a birding destination. There's so many different types of birds there. A lot of stuff we've never seen before. We saw, right out the window there was a mesquite tree, and this mesquite tree had all kinds of wildlife that would come to it every single day. We saw birds, we saw woodpeckers. These two woodpeckers in particular that would come every day, just about. Then we saw a roadrunner. We saw pelicans. We saw finches. We saw these birds called Mexican eagles. They're kind of like a smaller version of a bald eagle. They're kind of cool. But yeah, there was just all kinds of wildlife in South Texas. For being a desert, I didn't realize there was that many animals, and the coyotes too.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of roadrunners, we had coyotes. We didn't see the coyotes here like we did before, but we could hear them every night out there howling,
Yeah,
having a good old time.
yeah, they were yipping, and then one day when we were leaving, we finally saw the Roadrunner, and it was right at the park entrance, and I happened to stop and look down, and sure enough, there he was.
Yeah, it was really cool to see one. I wish he would have ran because that would have been neat. But hey, he didn't say meet meet. Scott did get great video of dolphins whenever he was out kayaking, fishing for Salt Strong. And they escorted him away from their fishing grounds. Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, I think they were mad that I was in the area, that was crossing this shipping channel, and I happened to see some dolphins feeding, and I wanted to get closer to where they were so I can, get some footage of it, some film of it. Well, they beelined right towards me, and they were swimming all in and around me, but I could tell that they were being really aggressive because they were getting super close to me. They didn't like me being in their hunting grounds. They were kind of chasing me off, so literally I had to beeline it for the shoreline, and the whole time I was going for the shore, they were just all around me and underneath me, and it was kind of cool, but it was scary at the same time.
I think it would be really, really cool. They didn't bump him. He's okay.
Dolphins! There's one right there. Super cool.
During the trip while he was in Baffin Bay, he also caught his personal best trout. How big do you think that thing was?
Yeah, that one was probably about 28 inches. There's a lot of people that fish their whole lives for trout and never catch one that big. So I was lucky enough to catch and land this one. But the fish got away before I could measure it, so I don't have a solid number. So the 28 is just a guess.
He's being very modest because he posted it. It was one of his videos with Salt Strong, and he asked, "How big do you think this thing was?" And people came back as big as 32 inches. So we'll see. He'll never know though. So he'll have to catch another personal best so he can know for sure how big it was. Along with all the animals we saw, feathered and furry, we also got to see them plow the fields. So go from nothing to plowing to planting to them being beautiful, lush green, carpet-like landscapes. We think what do you think it was?
I think it's mostly either corn or soybean, but I don't know.
Corn. I'm going with corn. I think they were growing a lot of corn there. We also saw the USS Lexington when we were driving by. It was really neat to see it with all the planes out on top of it and everything. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was in Corpus Christi. We were going over this really big bridge, and you were actually looking down on it, and it was kind of cool. I wish we had time to actually go see it, but maybe next time we're in Texas we can. Blue Angels were in town, and we actually got to see them do a little performing. Matter of fact, on my way back from fishing, they were actually performing right over the highway that I was driving down, and I got some pretty cool shots. So even though we enjoyed our stay at Baffin Bay, and the campground that we were in was actually really nice, and the people were really nice, but the isolation kind of put a damper on the whole experience. Just having to drive 45 minutes into town to do shopping, and there was really no restaurants for us to go to. We're kind of city folk, even though we're traveling a lot. We do like to have our little luxuries. So we probably wouldn't stay here as long as we did last time. We stayed here for a month, and maybe next time, maybe a week, but I would rather just stay in Corpus Christi and drive down for the day instead of staying here for the whole month. But it was a good experience. I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad we saw the things that we did. So that'll pretty much wrap up the Baffin Bay trip, and Riviera Beach is the place that we were in. The campground was called Seawind RV Resort. Again, it was a nice place, but we'll probably look elsewhere. It wasn't quite like Port Isabel.
No, it wasn't. I would do 2 weeks max there. It was very isolating. It was every time we would go out and into town, which was a 45-minute hour drive, I was so excited, like a kid going to Disney. That's pretty sad. But we only went out. It did make us eat and cook more at home because going out to a restaurant was so far away. So in that respects, that was a positive thing for us. I didn't gain any weight that month. Maybe lost a pound. Next, we'll be traveling to Galveston. We can't wait to share Galveston with you. Leave us some comments down below and let us know what you think of the videos and what else you'd like to see.